A recent ECFR event brought together high-level officials and analysts to discuss the political and economic challenges facing Tunisia's transition and the development of the political process in Libya. Last year, Libyan factions agreed to form a unity government, but some believe that many Western countries underestimate the challenges remaining, particularly in eastern Libya.
This idea that you could go forward with the agreement in December 2015 because eventually the East will come on board was a wrong assumption, and we're still seeing that because the opposition in the east of the country, especially among parliamentarians, is still very compact and solid. The second misconception that I highlighted is that the LNA or the forces affiliated with General Haftar can be easily defeated and swiped out of Benghazi. I was recently in Benghazi during the summer, and one thing that comes across is that LNA affiliated forces are largely in control of most of eastern Libya, at least from Tobruk to most of Benghazi, and of course the events of the last few days whereby when the LNA affiliated forces took control of oil terminals shows that they've even extended further their controls. The third misconception is concerning the House of Representatives, the HOR. This idea that's been floated around by some Western capitals and Libyan members of the HOR that you can get rid of this parliament and you don't really need to go back and have a legal vote to recognize the current political deal or the current government, and that you should just go forward regardless. The HOR is important, and at this point it's important to heal the division with the HOR.
Lately the things get more complicated because the Karama and the Fajr factions. It has affected many municipal councils. Many people have been displaced from their homes. A lot of damage to the infrastructure and the property and business of many people was affected. This is the current condition. Of course, there are long power cuts, 10 hours, especially in the past week, per day, which makes life very difficult. And there is also shortage of cash, plus the security issues and the travel among the different parts of Libya.
In Tunisia, the transitional challenges might be more complex than assumed.
It might sound very appealing when you have an unreformed and quite corrupt security sector in a country say, hey, we need a lot of equipment. We need a big goodie bag. It might look appealing from the perspective of a member state to say, okay, we'll give that to you, because if we don't, the whole terrorism issue is going to be worse and all these more migrants are going to come, etc. And maybe miss the broader picture and the longer term situation, which is that oftentimes these unreformed, corrupt and corroded security sectors are very much feeding into problems of creating terrorism and creating migration that plague the EU.
Some experts believe that EU member states might need to invest more time and effort into engaging with the region in order to correct mistaken assumptions.
And push forward now, because now is the right moment, security sector arrangements and dialogue between LNA and presidential council forces or affiliated forces in the West. These should be the current priorities.
I would like to see more involvement of the European Union to address the basic needs at this stage of reconstruction, of civil society improvement, participation of women, children and young people. And we would like also to see more transfer of knowledge and expertise to enable Libya to pass these difficult times.
So it's important to not take our eye off the long-term ball and to think critically about our own interest and about transparency, accountability and inclusivity.